Hello everyone, welcome back to Digital Learning DCE. Myself Dr. Manjula S, working as Assistant Professor of Botany. In today's session, let us study about host, pathogen, symptoms, disease cycle and control measures of blast disease of rice. Let me begin with introduction. Blast is one of the most widely distributed and destructive disease of rice which is caused by a fungus which is popularly known as Benkiroga because of its burnt appearance in the paddy field, and it is also known as rotten neck disease, occurring in every region of the world where rice is grown. In India, the disease is most prevalent in southern parts where particularly in the coastal areas. It is more severe in humid areas with plenty of rainfall. The loss due to the blast may be up to 90% depending upon the part of the plant infected. In the picture, we can observe the burnt appearance of paddy field, which is mainly due to the severe infection by the pathogen. Here we can observe the lesions developed on the leaf surface, hence it is called leaf blast. Here, due to attack by the pathogen, the culms are also infected with the pathogen. The fungi also infect the inflorescence. These are some of the symptoms of paddy blast. Then move on to the host and pathogen of blast disease. The host is Oryza sativa, which is commonly called as rice or paddy. The pathogen which is going to cause the blast disease is a type of fungus called Pyricularia oryzae, belongs to class Deuteromycetes, where the mycelium is intra or intercellular, consisting of septate hyphae, which is multinucleate or sinusitic in nature, and it is branched. It is going to produce the special type of hyphae called conidiophore, which arise either singly or in groups. They are simple, very rarely branched and showing sympodial growth. The conidia which born in succession, the conidia are the type of spores which are going to be born on the tip of the conidiophore, where one at a time at the tip. Each conidium is pyriform in shape. Pyriform means pear-shaped. Hence the name Pyricularia oryzae, since the fungus going to produce the pyriform shape of conidia. The name is derived from that, since it is going to infect the Oryza sativa. The name is Pyricularia oryzae. So the conidium is pyriform in nature, which is pear-shaped, which is multinucleate, and it is three-cell structure with either pointed or blunt apex. They are hyaline, transparent, or sometimes pale olive in color, which measure about, their length is around 14 to 40 microns and their width is 6 to 13 microns in size. In the diagram, we can observe the leaf infected with the fungus going to produce the lesions. At the point of these lesions, the fungus produces conidiophore, on the tip of which the pyriform conidia are going to be formed. So here we can see the electron microscopic picture of conidia, which are olive in color, which are three-celled. One side is, the tip is either blunt or pointed in nature. Coming to symptoms of rice blast or paddy blast. Although the disease is restricted to foliage, sometimes the symptom is appear on all the aerial part of the plant where it is going to infect, or it is appear on the leaf sheath, rachis and also glumes. First, on the leaves, symptom appear as small bluish elliptical shaped pustules which measure about 1 to 3 millimeter in diameter, which may, as the disease severity increases, which may enlarge up to several centimeters in young leaves. As the plant grows, as the plant matures, these small pustules coalesce together to form a large lesions where the central part become pale green in color and it is water soaked, whereas the outer rim appears dark brown in color. In later stages, as the severity proceeds, the center of the lesions become grayish or almost straw colored, where similar spots are also observed on the leaf sheath. Here we can see the pale bluish elliptical shaped pustules developed on the young leaves, which start enlarges as the disease proceeds, and they coalesce to form a large lesions, and in the severity cases where it becomes straw colored and covered by a brown color margin. Continue with the symptoms of paddy blast. The lesions are also found on the mature peduncle. Peduncle is nothing but the stalk of the inflorescence. These lesions are usually blackish brown in color. So as a result of infection at this part, the decay of the cells present at the peduncle region starts, where the earhead or culm is the most characteristic feature. The decay of the base of the earhead or culm is the one of the important characteristic feature of the paddy blast disease, which is due to the death of the cells, death and decay of the cells. As a result of this, earhead collapses. Hence the name rotten neck disease. The neck region of the inflorescence start due to decay, it become rotten, and as a result of that, the whole inflorescence collapses or droop down. Hence the name rotten neck disease. If the disease appears before the grain mature, they will never be visible at all. Seed formation or grain formation is not at all visible if it is attacked before the grain formation. After the grain formation, if the fungus going to attack the plant, then they have the capacity to infect seeds also by infecting the florets as they mature into seeds. Hence, it is the main source of seed-borne infection. Here we can observe the rotten neck disease, which is a most characteristic feature of paddy blast due to the decay of the peduncle, decay of the cells present in the peduncle region. So this whole part start rotten, and as a result of that, the inflorescence droop down. Then here we can observe the culms, shriveled culms infected with the pathogen. So culms are nothing but hollow stems of the paddy. Here we can see the drooped inflorescence and seed. On the seeds also pathogen, we can observe the spots or lesions on the seed surface. Then coming to disease cycle, as I already told, the special hyphae called conidiophores, they are going to produce a number of conidia in succession, one after the other. These conidia, which are pyriform, they are released from the conidiophore by dew or rain splashes, and this conidia disseminated by wind from one place to another place. When the conidia come and fall on the surface of a new plant, new leaf, the rice blast fungus starts its infection and the cycle proceeds. So this is the conidia which were developed from the lesions of already infected leaf surface or any other part of the plant. When they separated by rain splashes and they carried away by wind, when they come and fall on the surface of the new leaf, they start producing a germ tube. So through this germ tube, it is going to form, at its tip, it is going to form a knob-like structure called aprosorium, into which the melanin-like aprosorium cell wall, where it is filled with a number of enzymes, and this aprosorium act as the penetration peg, which is going to penetrate the host cell surface and enter into the host tissue, inside which it is going to establish and form hyphae, which when attains certain stage of maturity, it is going to produce erect stalk-like structures known as conidiophores. These conidiophores once again cut down number of conidia in succession. So this is the life cycle of the fungus on paddy plant. And coming to disease spread, the environmental factors, particularly high temperature and high moisture, are important in the spread of the disease. Waterlogging condition leads to soaking of the leaves for 6 to 24 hours is also one of the favorable factor for spreading of the disease, whereas high manuring, like organic manure, using organic manure in high concentration is also one of the favorable factor for spreading of the disease. Young seedlings within 15 to 30 days of transplantation are very susceptible to get infected by the pathogen. Coming to control measures, field sanitation. First control measure is field sanitation, which includes the collecting and destroying the infected plant parts from the main field, and destruction of alternate host. This fungus has the capacity to perennate on alternate hosts like Digitaria and Brachiaria. Hence, destruction of these two hosts can control the disease to some extent. Second control measure includes seed treatment. In case of seed-borne pathogen, the seeds before sowing, they have to treat with organomercurial such as Serasan, Agrosan and Aereton, which can also control the disease. Even after the disease occur, after soaking the seeds, from that the plant rise, if the disease appear at that stage, then we have to go for foliar spray with fungicides like 0.5% Copperan, 0.3% Bletox, Bodyox mixture, Agroson and Brestanol are useful to control the disease. Then use of antibiotics like Blasticidin, Ketagin, Antimycin and Blastomycin are also some of the fungicides, antibiotics which can control the disease. So one of the most important thing which can control the disease is use of resistant varieties of paddy, which were developed by plant breeding technique, where the resistant gene is introduced, so that using that resistant variety cultivars which have the capacity to resist the pathogen, using that cultivars can control the disease. Next control measure includes avoid excess nitrogen fertilizer application. As I already told, organic fertilizer can favor the spread of the disease. So we have to avoid excess use of the fertilizer application. And also burning of straw and stubbles after harvest. Since the remnant parts of the paddy, straw and other parts which contain the spores, they act as a inoculum. Hence we have to burn them after harvest before sowing the fresh plants. Crop rotation is one of the simple and effective technique which is going to control the disease, which is highly recommended since it provides a mechanism that separates the viable spores in crop residue. So we have to rotate the crop for every season. We should not grow the paddy in the same field. We have to rotate so that the viability of the pathogen is going to lose. So these are some of the control methods to control the paddy blast. Summary: I am going to sum up today's session with the following points, where paddy blast is widely distributed and destructive disease of rice, which is popularly known as Benkiroga because of its burnt appearance, and rotten neck disease since the neck of the inflorescence is going to rotten due to decay of the cells This disease is caused by a fungus Pyricularia oryzae, which belongs to Deuteromycetes, which is commonly called as imperfect fungi. Since it lacks the sexual stage, it is going to reproduce asexually by means of producing spores called conidia, which are pear-shaped, hence the name Pyricularia. Although the disease is chiefly a foliage disease, the symptoms may appear on all the aerial part of the plant, where it can attack leaf sheath, rachis, glooms, peduncle, etc. The decay of the base of the earhead and also culm is the most characteristic symptom of the disease. Hence, as a result of that, the inflorescence is going to collapse. Hence the name rotten neck disease. Conidia are released from the conidiophore by means of dew or rain splashes, which get disseminated from one place to other by wind, where environmental factors such as high temperature and moisture are important in spread of the disease, along with high manuring and also waterlogging conditions. Disease can be controlled by field sanitation, foliar spray with fungicides, and also by seed treatment. Crop rotation and use of disease resistant variety gives promising result in controlling the disease. Since paddy is one of the staple food of southern India, there is an urgent need to control the disease by using certain control or managing strategies. So with this I am going to conclude the session. For further details about the topic, you can refer the following references. Thank you.